Mike Bohn joined once again by NFL great MMA promoter Shawne Merriman. Shawne, you got another show coming up with Lights Out Xtreme Fighting, October 7th in Long Beach. Just tell me a little bit about this card. You guys are kind of on a roll this year.
Yeah, Lights Out Xtreme Fighting, October 7th. We'll be in Long Beach, California. If you can check us out at lightsoutxf.com to get tickets. We'll be live on Fubo Sports, Fubo TV. If you don't have Fubo, get it. This is our biggest card we've had. We actually, coming into this one, almost had to cut back a few fights because we lined up. We're stacked. Alba Morales and Musa Toliver, both of these guys who I've known personally for a long time. And to be honest, man, I normally stay after matchmaking. I'll let Antonio, our matchmaker, really do a lot of that side of it. But this one, I kind of got involved because I know a lot of these guys personally, trained with them, sparred, same gyms. And there's a lot of bad blood in this card with these gyms, coaches, man. I've been around it, man. So I know who don't like who and some problems there. So I'm excited about this card mainly because it's a lot of local fighters in the LA, Orange County, Long Beach area. So we'll be in Long Beach October 7th.
So you mentioned you usually try to stay out of the matchmaking.
Yeah.
I know like you have great people around you and you obviously trust them, but is that something that you're starting to feel a little bit more like, hey, I like dipping my toe in there every now and then?
Well, the thing is, I'm a former athlete, man. I'm a former athlete myself. And so I still do train in a lot of these gyms. Even if I pop in a couple of days here or there, whether it's open mat one day, light sparring sessions, I kind of, stay in there to stay in shape. But so I know a lot of these guys. So when I see and know that there's fighters that have problems with other guys, who's actually calling somebody out and saying, "Hey, I want to fight this guy," they're walking up to me in the gym, like in the middle of a set or in the middle of training. So then, recently I've gotten more involved a little bit in the matchmaking. But I got a great matchmaker in Antonio, man. He really does his thing.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, is that something you're trying to kind of focus on? Is give guys in that area? I know, like California right now, there's shows going on all the time, but like UFC isn't running a ton there. Bellator, we don't know like the future of that. So, is it important to you to give fighters in this market and the fans in this market stuff to watch?
Yeah, and the thing is, man, obviously, there's a bunch of really good promotions. There's some great promotions out here, actually. Some shows that I've attended, they run a nice show and stuff like that. We want to be considered one of the best ones for us and give these up and coming guys an opportunity to be seen. We're up 75% viewership on Fubo. We've broken another record. We're now almost in the top 5 most watched on Fubo Sports. It's unheard of. And so we got the viewership. We want to give these guys an opportunity. For us, man, if they end up going to the UFC or go off somewhere, we tell them good luck. I always tell the guys when they go fight somewhere else, hey, whoop some ass. That's always my favorite thing. You come over here from Lights Out, go somewhere and whoop some ass. And so it's great, man. It's to give these guys an opportunity. And I know what it's like. Like I said, man, I played ball, and you want to be seen. That's how you make a living.
Yeah, and this is the 11th show, is that correct? Yeah, 11th. So, 10 in the books, that's obviously a huge accomplishment in itself. What do you feel like is the maybe one or two most important things you've learned maybe since show 1 that as you go into show 11 now, you're like, damn, I wasn't even thinking about this when I did a show for the first time?
It was a little different because initially starting out when people were trying to find out about us, we kind of talking about who we are. They watch me, obviously. Maybe they've been a fan of me playing football growing up, but they didn't know about Lights Out Xtreme Fighting. So now it's like these calls are coming in all over the place because people are seeing us. People are finding more out about us and what we're doing and what we're building over there. And we have the next up and coming superstars, man. Like I'm fortunate that they all want to come and fight for Lights Out Xtreme Fighting. I want to keep getting behind these guys and promoting them and bringing some of these football eyes, man. Like I played football my whole entire life. I played on the biggest stage, which is the NFL in this country. And so a lot of the people who follow me over my career, they get a chance to see what we're doing at Lights Out Xtreme Fighting. And that part for me is just that has probably been the coolest part.
Yeah, and last time we spoke, we talked a little bit about like the crossover on the athletes between football and mixed martial arts. From what you've seen, like, what do you think the crossover on the fan bases is? Do you feel like there's a lot of the same people who tune into football are easily kind of convertible as MMA fans and vice versa?
I do. I'm seeing a lot of it. And in fact, when I go and I'm traveling now, or I got the Chargers game. I'm doing some of the pre and post game show for the Chargers Raiders game this Sunday on CBS. And I'll show up to certain places ready to talk about football, and then people are asking me about Lights Out Extreme Fighting. So that's cool. We got AJ Hodgkins who played linebacker with Justin Herbert at Oregon. Just fighting on this card, amateur fight. We couldn't find this dude a fight, man. We're bringing him in from Texas, and so we're having more of these former athletes to kind of make that transition. I was talking to Le'Veon Bell the other day, and I talked a little bit with Frank Gore. A lot of these guys are coming over to combat sports, and we're going to be announcing some big former athletes here shortly. That's going to be fighting. That was in the XFL, that was in the NFL, and now saying, you know what, my time is up playing football, and we're going to announce a few big fights here shortly with Lights Out Extreme Fighting.
That's awesome. Are those guys easy to work with, kind of in your limited experience so far, or is it kind of maybe more difficult on the other side, like you said, finding opponents for some of these guys that actually make sense? But the former football players themselves, do you find them very easy to work with and keen to do this, or is there some trickiness involved?
The biggest thing is really showing them the pathway and how to transition over, right? A lot of these guys are already training of some discipline, right? They're rolling the jiu-jitsu, the pads, Muay Thai, boxing. They're already doing some kind of combat sport, and they've already been thinking about it. So when I talk to them, a lot of these former, NFL players or guys that came from the XFL or just different, whatever, just athletes in general from all sports. We got NBA guys right now, some former NBA guys that's reaching out saying, hey, I've been training and I want to maybe take a fight with Lights Out Extreme Fighting. Could we talk? So I'm getting more of that now than I ever have in the existence of the company. But this MMA is still new, man. Football's been around for a long time. NBA, baseball, soccer, all these been around for a long time. And so what's happening now, you're seeing, because the money is greater, there's a bigger opportunity. It's becoming more mainstream. These former athletes that would have never thought about doing this 10, 15 years ago are now looking into it. And I'm seeing the full effects of them being able to come over. And these announcements we're going to make here coming up with these former athletes, it's, some of them was your favorite football player in NFL, some of them in college. Maybe you just seen them in the XFL, and they're all going to be coming with Lights Out Extreme Fight, man. So it's been cool for me.
That's awesome. When do you think we'll kind of hear some of those announcements? Are those more likely to be for fight cards in 2024? Is this your last show of the year?
Yeah, we have October 7th in Long Beach. October 7th in Long Beach, November 18th in Long Beach, January 6th in Long Beach. And then after, we'll be on the move either to San Diego or Arizona or Texas. We'll be in one of the three. I'm working it out now.
Awesome. Yeah. What do you like about the Long Beach market for you? Is it just because you feel like you have a lot of roots in that area and it's easy to kind of work with people and get people out and stuff?
Yeah, because you got a ton of fighters down in San Diego. I mean, from gyms in Escondido, Temecula. I was at Dan Henderson's gym, Hendo's gym the other day, training a little bit in Temecula. You get a lot of that market. You get the Orange County market. You get the LA market. So it's a lot easier for us to pull these fighters in Southern California when you're in that Long Beach area, right? So we don't have to stick with all Long Beach fighters. We got some coming up from Oceanside and Orange County, Temecula, and some of the Escondido, all the way up to LA and even a little bit further north in LA. So we're having these guys now to come in, or we'll be sold out, man. This one is our biggest card we've had all the way through. Tommy Aaron, who's another one that's big. That's Tony Ferguson's guy. Tony will be coming to our fight again. So it's just been cool, man. It's been fun.
Yeah, that's great. And when you look at next year, how many shows do you think you're going to do in 2024?
We'll do at least 12.
12. That's awesome.
We'll do at least 12 in 2024. And we got a couple fights left on the football contract, and then we'll see what's up.
Okay, so that ends kind of at the end of this year, and then you might kind of see what's out there in terms of broadcast.
Yeah, for sure.
That must be exciting too, for sure, though.
Yeah, because for me, man, football's a great partner. And the reason why I like working with football so much is because of their tech platforms. It's multi-view. They got other sports in there, right? So when I'm going out and I'm talking about the fights, I'm also getting the opportunity to talk about all NFL news and what's going on, because I'm still heavily involved. And I was on NFL Network last week in New York, talking about football, man. But obviously that's my background, but getting the opportunity to try kind of transition and move some of these eyes over into lights out extreme fighting it's been fun for me.
Yeah, definitely. Is it, man, where do you find the time? That's got to be like very consuming to be doing all this and kind of have your toes in kind of the different pools here.
Time makes me, man, to be honest. It's one, I'm a 4:30 in the morning guy, man. I'm in the gym, I'll lift weights, and I'll pop out to either I'll go, work out at Extreme Couture. I'll go spar sometime at top rank boxing or these different gyms if I'm in Vegas or if I'm in LA. And so for me, it's routine, man. This is not even work. This is just what I do.
Yeah, definitely. Is that I mean, clearly your success speaks for itself, but discipline is, I'm sure, something that's been very persistent in your life and kind of getting you to where you are and everything that you've done.
Yeah, look, you look, you got to be able to work a little bit in chaos, right? And understand it and kind of just swim in it a little bit, because it is crazy. I mean, some of these media shows, I'm doing 4 or 6 hits a day with local markets, national markets, you name it, all the way through the board, talking about these upcoming fights, but also getting a chance to talk about the latest NFL news, right? Because I'm there too. And so it's cool when you get a chance you see some of these up and coming guys, right? They got a real shot at being like a superstar. You notice it, you see them early, and then you get a chance to kind of promote them, get behind them, back them, and you see them grow, and for me, that's cool. If these guys go off into the UFC and wherever else they want to go, good, man. Just my favorite quote I always say is go kick some ass. Like wherever they fighting at, just go represent, go kick some ass. And so that's been fun.
Yeah, and since you mentioned it a couple of times, NFL news, to you so far this season, what's been the number one NFL story in your mind? Is it Aaron Rodgers' injury? Is it Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce? What's kind of the story that stood out to you a few games in here?
I think it's so far it's Aaron Rodgers' injury. I think that's it's neck and neck with the Dolphins putting up 70 points on Denver. Right. I mean. Yeah. We ain't never seen nothing like that before. Not in our time, somebody scoring that amount of points. But I think the other side of it is Aaron Rodgers, man, and what he was going to do for that organization, right? And just the hype, the hard knocks, it just felt like New York got punched in the stomach, right? They just got punched in it was a blow to the gut when he went down. And now they're trying to figure it out with Zach Wilson. Players are pissed off at Coach Alaba, the head coach, because he's backed in Zach Wilson so much. So there's a lot of commotion over there. But yeah, man, it's been crazy so far.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess one follow-up there on the 70-point game. What's your take on that? I mean, I know there was some backlash from the critics being like, this is unsportsmanlike running up the score. It's obviously a fantastic, accomplishment to do that in a game. But what was your feeling on it? If you were in the game, would that be rubbing you the wrong way? Is it all fair game in your mind? What do you think?
I would have kicked the field goal. At the end. I would have look, man, I just don't. Well, listen, if you don't like 70 points scored in you, then don't let somebody score 70 points. That's my attitude. Don't let somebody, and if they keep running up the score, do something about it. And there's a lot of problems going down there in Denver. And it's between Sean Payton and the players, or Sean Payton and Russell Wilson, maybe the players against Sean Payton. It's something going on, because if you actually care about your coach and you respect him, vice versa, your quarterback or whatever, you don't let 70 points get hung on you that way. And so people are just overlooking what happened. These are professionals. This is the NFL. You got to have some sense of pride and some sense of, hey, I'm going to stand up and not let this happen. And so for somebody to hang 70 points on you and let that happen, there's a problem bigger in that organization that everyone's overlooking and missing out. And so we'll hear soon. Russell Wilson's getting benched, Sean Payton possibly getting fired. There's going to be something, because there's so much turmoil going on down there, and no one's doing anything about it. So there's something bigger going on.
Yeah. I love that take. And I guess last thing to bring it full circle with like the NFL players, do you get the sense when you talk to some of these guys, like Le'Veon Bell, etc., people who have gone to combat sports, do they enjoy like the solo acts, so to speak, of like doing a combat sports fight? Because obviously they come from a team sport. There's a lot that goes into that, and to go in there and have no one to lean on in that sense in a combat sports environment, and having not really done that in their professional career, do you get the sense that like that's part of why they like venturing into this?
There's nothing like combat sports, right? I mean, even from the standpoint of in football, you get tired, you go on the sideline, right? There's somebody, you tap out, you call a timeout. There's a play clock. This in combat in MMA, there's no play clock, right? There's no timeouts. When that cage closed, that's it. It's you and that person in front of you. That aspect, I think that a lot of guys. And let me kind of rewind it back a step further. A lot of these guys are transition to fighting because they didn't get their shot, right? Either they got injured and bad luck happened with them. Maybe it was a coach. Maybe it was an organization that just didn't pan out right with the team. So in a sense, you're getting some guys that's pissed off that got a chip on their shoulder, that's walking in the cage. That's what you want. You want these guys who have a little chip on their shoulder. Like, hey, man, I got cut and I'm pissed off. I want to whoop somebody's ass. Hey, man, I got, that team and paid me, or I got hurt. I didn't get my opportunity and I can't make it on a football field anymore. I'm going to go whoop somebody's ass. And those are the guys you want. Those are the athletes, not just football players. Believe you me. What's the guy the other day that said that he think he could beat John Jones? It was an NBA player. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
Oh yeah. What was his name? I want to look it up real quick.
Yeah, I mean, no, he lost his damn mind for sure, right? I mean, he for sure lost his mind, but the mentality is there, right? Yep. And so what happened?
By the way,
there you go. There you go. I mean, he lost his mind. I mean, John Jones would kill him, but I think that the mentality is there for him to make that transition. Give him 2 years of training, right? Somebody that's 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", whatever, lean, tough. Give him 2 years of training and watch how fast and how successful he become in combat sports. That's what's going to happen here over the next couple of years. You're going to have some of these guys that are not going to make it, or opportunity, saying, kind of a F this situation. I want to go whoop some ass. And that's what's going to happen here in the next year plus.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see as the sport grows and unfolds here. And obviously appreciate that you're kind of contributing to the grassroots of our sport and allowing people to have a platform. So everyone, if you didn't hear off the top, Lights Out Extreme Fighting 11 goes down October 7th, Long Beach, California. Tickets still available. You can watch it on Fubo Sports. Did I miss anything there, Shawne, or are we good to go?
No, that's good, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much for the time, man. It's good to see you again, and we'll do this again in the future.
You got it. Thanks for having me.